Ready? Here we go. Check one. Give me a check one.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Okay, here we go. Five, four, three, two, one. All right, Elby. Let me just tell you a little something.
Okay.
We're at our command center up north. There's 37 people in the house. I'd like it nice and busy, I must say that. But I want to start somewhere. This is very organic here. We talked about this earlier today, but I want to start right here with you. Yesterday on the way here, I was, we grabbed one of my daughter's friends, so we went up north. The northern route, me, two 15-year-olds and a dog who sat in the front seat, because she's incredibly talented.
She's a person.
She's incredibly talented. She kept throwing the car into neutral on the highway, which is always a great feeling.
How does she do that?
With her cow head, because she can't get comfortable in the car. Okay, so that's fine. So we're driving, and in the distance, suddenly I noticed that my lane is bending right downhill. We're on a highway, but not like an interstate. I noticed that the traffic on my side is all stopping suddenly, and so I'm like, oh, whoa, something's going on. And I noticed that between the highway side that we're on and the side that's coming the other direction, there's about 100 yards of grassy median. Mm-hmm. I noticed people are sprinting down the median, like almost as if they were like LARPing, or was the movie 300 or whatever it was. Right. I never see people just sprint, like running down. And then there was people from my side sprinting up, and I'm like, oh man, there's something going on here. So I grab my phone and I start recording, because I would obviously record. I mean, not only am I like a media person, so I'd always record.
Right.
And it's done me good to be always recording. So I grab my camera and my phone, and I start recording. It's not easy to record in there because I'm driving and recording, which Twitter has let me know was a terrible mistake to make.
Twitter's never afraid to let you know that.
So
you've done everything wrong.
Yeah, well, so let me get through.
Actually, have you heard that bit where if you ever are wondering how to do something right, you just post online yourself doing it wrong, and 1,000 people will come out of the woodwork to tell you?
Yes. Well, we're going to talk about that. So here's some of the video of. Now let me get to the first video when I first saw it, and my daughter and her friends didn't know what was going on, and they're like, "Oh, da da da." They thought it might be something fun happening, and I'm like, "No, this is not a good scene here." So this is in the distance as when I first see what's happening here, and you can see this on Twitter. It's all posted up there. It's kind of a jarring. The video's good video because it's kind of jarring. Serious, yeah. Now my side is totally stopping, and people are running down this embankment, which I find out later. The other side of the highway is totally closed, which I found out later is there's somebody hurt down there. It seems like somebody on a motorcycle might have been hurt. I didn't know. All I knew is that there was a lot of people desperately running down there. So I get a little bit closer, and I notice that the people have gotten out of the left lane. Mm-hmm. And the left lane only has a few cars in it. There's only 2 lanes. And then the right lane is bumper to bumper. Right lane's come to a halt. And I said, okay, that's good. I can go and try to record and see what's over there. So I go to the left lane and I start recording. I'm fumbling the camera around, because it's just me. I've got nobody up. I got a dog next to me up in the front. But I want to make sure I get this. So here I go. I'm going. There's a woman next to her car. There's a car in the median right there. And fumbling around. You're seeing pictures of the whatever. And so now there's in the grass close to where I am. There are people obviously trying to help somebody else who's down there. You can't see the victim, or I don't think you can. But there are people still arriving down there, and there's all sorts of action happening down there. And like right now, if you're watching it, and there's a group of people standing around helping somebody. It looks like. Maybe if you did pause it right there, maybe you could have seen somebody there. I'm not even sure. So this sparked an amazing phenomenon. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I filed this next to weird things that go on. I filed this next to like when 9/11 happened. Remember I told you that I had a woman who was trying to get me to get a discount on a rental car. Mm-hmm. She's like, tell Hertz that in light of our national tragedy, see if they can get money off of it. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I was like, no, stop it. And then I had other people trying to make, this is 9/11. This is September 11, 2001. I had other people trying to make dinner in the North End reservations. They're like, yeah, can you give us into Mama Maria for 8 p.m.? And I said, you haven't been to a TV yet, you know? And they said, yeah, no, we haven't. I said, we're under attack. There's no dinner happening. You need to go to a TV because everything is stopped. And they're like, okay, just call for us, please, and see if you can get us at 8 p.m. And they left and they expected me to call. When I came back, they were catatonic and they realized, okay. But it's one odd thing. When the marathon bombing happened, there was all these calls into the Howie Carr show.
I remember this.
Yeah, you remember it with other bombs. Some had been exploded, some didn't. But there was one at the JFK Library, and an elected person called Howie and told him of another bomb, and it's like all these.
I was thinking of the caller too. Do you remember? So we had the Howie Carr show on when this was all happening, and nobody knew what was going on yet. My favorite was the caller who called in and was like, "Everyone's just making a big deal out of nothing. It was just some like storm drain covers that blew off or whatever." Like he was like, "Nothing happened. No, blah blah blah." Like, how the frick do you know, first of all? And second of all, like, why are you calling in and saying
people
this
sometimes
completely wrong information?
Right. And people are sometimes bizarre. So we're at the house. This is my ancestral... Is it ancestral? Ancestral house. This is in Vermont. And right in front of us, Alice, on that grass, I called my father's ex-wife and their family to let her... Oh, the ex-wife was dead. But I called my father's ex-wife's family, who were still close to him, to let them know that he was gone. Mm-hmm. I called them. They're all, including some relatives I had known, they were all together at a table, like playing Scrabble. And they've got me in speakerphone, like, "Hi, Tommy, go ahead. And they're like frolicking and having fun. And I said, yeah, I just wanted to let you know that my dad passed away. And so I'm not sure about what's going to be happening. They're like, "How are you?" I'm like, "Good. I'm good." And they're like, "Okay. Well, you know what? We made those Buckeye chocolates that you like." And I said, okay, so I just wanted to pass it on that my dad passed away. And there was like this bizarre thing happening where it didn't hit. Like they
couldn't process information.
They weren't processing the information. It was just like, it was odd. And like all these odd behaviors happened. Another guy who we had talked to, a friend of his, gave us this great story about our mother. And he said, like, "I can't wait to see you boys. I have so much to talk about." And he was just a no-show. Like, I mean, we've never heard from him since. And like, and I'm not saying this for any grievance reason. And I'm not even saying this. Like this post I did, it must be my reputation precedes me, or I don't even get it. But this post I did ended up eliciting dozens of responses. Mm-hmm. Almost none of which
were about what was happening.
What was happening, which is a jarring piece of video. So here's some of the responses. "Well, that was smart of you filming while driving. You're an idiot."
Yeah, not really the point.
I had texted that it's exit 68. I think I meant to say mile 68, but I'm texting and driving on a highway. It's just not that easy, to do. And I figure that, I get you the basics. And that's what exit 68, exits on 101 go from 1 to 12 or 13. This guy says 101 has 13 exits. There's no exit 68. Another guy says exit 6 he meant. Another guy, Representative James Spillane. This is a representative of the General District Court in this is a rep from New Hampshire. There is no exit 68. That's your statement on what I...
Right.
Is the point of what happened the exit number? Like, do some people not get images in text and in tweets? Here's another. Norfolk County Cartel Bar and Grill. There's no exit 68 on any part of 101, dipshit. There are people running across the highway desperately trying to help somebody on the ground is the point of the thing. Somebody says, I hate to break it to you, man. I got a bunch of things about Whitney Houston playing, which were jokes about me being gay because Whitney Houston was playing, which Whitney Houston was playing. But I would also think, since there's possibly a dead body in the video, that shouldn't be the first thing. Yeah,
the last thing that you were thinking about.
That comes to mind. Now, here's another one. And you're holding up traffic to get a video. You effing loser. Some guy. Which I didn't do. I didn't hold up traffic to get a video. But now that you mentioned video, anything about the video?
Nothing's jumping out.
No. And it's like, I got so many of these things. Accident. Johnny says, I was just there. Must have missed it. At least that's
relevant to what happened.
Mitch says, yeah, it's literally by exit 4. Tom's a dummy. Maybe. But here's the thing. Okay?
But you weren't making a statement about like what exit it was at.
No, I was trying to
tell people. The post wasn't
people
about the exit. You just said exit
Mars.
Instead of mile marker.
Anya Mars says Candia has exit 3 only. Moron. What is going on here? Exit 6 is not in Candia. There is no 6A. Original post is an idiot. Original poster is an idiot. Transplant in Oregon. Exit 68. Were they recently renumbered? Meanwhile, I am still driving away from this thing, having just texted. I don't know if the text is going to go through. I am listening to a podcast when this happens. I'm getting Bill Maher in my headphones. Meanwhile, people are texting me about being gay because Whitney Houston's on, which I didn't even realize at the time because I wasn't listening to Whitney Houston. I was listening to the Bill Maher show. So here's another one. Rolo says, start calling you rubberneck. But I wasn't rubbernecking. The reason why it was so sloppy and all the texting was so bad was that I wasn't rubbernecking. I was going normally.
Right.
But doing it. And while I'm driving the car. So I got the exit. I even took a screenshot to show people like a little bit later, like where it, which is beside the point. Totally. But like, I think about this and I think like, what a weird, I'm looking at more of these. They only have exit 3. Why is it your first, if you're looking at a post, especially one that's showing something that could be tragic and or maybe bloody, you never don't know, is to audit for accuracy in the description. Like, what is going on in the world that people are saying, well, hold on. I'm not going to get sucked into this.
Well, the other thing is, too, is that it's not really about correcting the information for the post, because if they open the post, they could see that a bunch more people already corrected the exit issue, which is one thing that gets me about these posts. And I guess the reason why they say if you want people to say something about how you're doing something, like if you have a home improvement project, don't like put the question out, how should I do this? Just put up a post of yourself doing it wrong, and everyone will pop out of the woodwork to tell you. You'll get 1,000 comments saying the same thing. And you'll see engagement bait like that, especially on Facebook all the time.
Yes.
Where it's like, you know, did my contractor do this right? And like there's some post with the deck put up with nothing supporting it or whatever, and then like every comment is the same thing. And it is a funny instinct that people like all need to jump in and correct something, even though that they can see that like the information's already been corrected and that you already said, oh yeah, I'm at mile marker 68, not exit 68. Like, okay, problem solved. No need to jump in. But they don't look at any comments. They just jump right in and hit the top comment with their immediate first reaction. Anyway, without absorbing any of the information. But there's also a bunch of people that are like incapable of processing the point of something.
Yeah, but like, so what a way to approach something that would be. And I'm not trying to feel bad for me.
But it's a huge mid-wit thing.
Yeah,
to like not understand the point and to immediately jump on like a typo.
Yeah, but yes. Okay.
And like not put any information
But how could that be? How can you survive like that? Like, how many times did you buy winning scratch tickets and throw it away? If that's how your mind works. Seriously.
I don't know, but I do think that's like, I do think that's a thing, and I think it plays into a lot of stuff. I don't know. Have you been following the like Luigi Mangione trial stuff?
A little bit.
He just like pled guilty to the state stalking charges or whatever. And admitted that he killed the person. So they're working on a plea deal, obviously, for all the charges. But, all these people, like, you go in the comment section. This makes me feel better about comment sections and things people say on the internet in general, because you'll go in the comment section and it's all, what he did isn't as bad as what that healthcare executive did every day. Insurance companies kill people every day. Like, are you guys aware that insurance companies pay for, like, all the healthcare in the country pretty much?
Well, but not...
I mean, like, your insurance company pays for you to do all kinds of crap all the time. They have to spend a ton of money paying out claims. Constantly. That's, like, all they spend money on is paying out claims.
Well,
that's like, I mean, and since Obamacare, it's the law. They have to spend 80% plus of their money paying out claims. Like, but there's all these midwits. But there's just like, people have this gut reaction, like, oh, insurance company's evil. Like, what he did wasn't wrong. I it's not that it's the same thing exactly, but I think it comes from a similar place of like, sort of immediate reaction. Like, people just say the thing that they think is the thing that everyone sort of thinks.
Here's one of his girls.
I would say it wasn't surreal. It was weird to hear him say it, like, guilty. Yes, like, I plead guilty, and yes, I understand all these charges, and kind of give his own statement. Ironically, I did find out we're both on the same sleep medication, so that's a little bonding moment there.
Okay.
But I don't even mean like these psychos that are spending their time standing outside the courthouse, because I think that's an outlier.
But I think that's a good parallel, because she's noticing sleep medication, and it was weird to hear him say guilty. Look, that's not the story of Luigi Mangione, his sleep medication. Just like the story of the people running across the highway was not the exit. It was weird to see him say exit 6 when we all know there isn't. Like, they're just missing the main broadcast, and they're just getting some weird meta broadcast. They're getting the HD channel. Seriously.
It is funny though. But yeah, like I think that people's reactions to things are surreal because people in general, like, don't put thought into anything and into their reactions to anything. And they don't like process information or think about stuff. They just sort of have these like hot takes on everything. And they're dealing with like a surface level understanding of everything that happens. Oh yeah, insurance company's evil. They deny people. They kill people all the time. Like, they put no examination into that. Like, oh, the wrong exit number. You're slowing down traffic. You're doing that. You shouldn't text while driving. All these like immediate reactions to stuff. They're not making any important point about anything. They're just doing this like immediate gut reaction. And it's the same with like the Jason Arday thing. You'll notice So obviously, it's horribly tragic that he killed himself. That's awful.
Right.
It's awful when anybody kills themselves or dies or anything. I mean, he's a 41-year-old man. He had a wife and child depending on him.
Right. We left, it was still a funny story. By the way, before we get back, deep dive into Jason our day, I just want to read this. Kim Possible says, "Oh my God, I'm so excited," and Alice is back. If you didn't think you were going to see her before because it's a pain for her to get ready, and I bargained with her to get her on anytime. Now she's not coming on because she's got what I assume is some flesh-eating disease. This is amazing, Al.
I have developed a face rash. I went to urgent care yesterday. They gave me prednisone. So it's a disaster. I'm
so the video's showing now,
not
guys,
going to
right?
be on camera.
So Cheswick says people are morons. Yeah. Cheswick says, what happened to the people in the accident? I saw a couple of like Twitter bulletins, and it just said there was a motorcycle accident there. Now, there was one earlier in the day where somebody died. I don't know that this person was a fatality.
What is that, Route 101?
Route 101, yeah. But there was I think there were 3 in the last few days in New Hampshire, and at least one of them, somebody died. I don't know what happened, but man, I'll say one good thing. Kim Possible says, 25 says, remember the median IQ is 100.
This says deceased.
Yeah,
Candia, New Hampshire.
Oh, is that the same one?
Candia, New Hampshire, Route 101.
Yeah, but is that because there was one that was 8 a.m.
21 hours ago?
But with 21 hours ago, oh, that would be about right then.
Route 101 westbound.
Because there was one that was at 8 a.m.
Mile marker 69.2, so that's your mile marker, very close to that. Motor vehicle crash.
69.2.
There's no
not a
exit.
0.2. That's what I get from this.
Okay, motorcycle vehicle crash involving a motorcycle with injury. Use caution in the area. Auburn Fire Mutual Aid to the scene. And then it says deceased a short while later.
So I will say one thing before we get to to Jason our day, which is Alice, this angle here is
you look handsome.
I look less triple chin than I could.
I think you're losing weight.
Thank you.
But
they weren't earbuds. They're full. Cheswick says, Tommy, you're not supposed to have earbuds.
You're not supposed to have any headphones when you're driving.
I had full can headphones, wireless.
That's you missing the point. You're not supposed to wear headphones while driving.
This is Cheswick's initial takeaway. Okay, so the reason I had the full earphones on yesterday is because I have 2 15-year-old girls in the car behind me, my daughter and her friend, and I will listen to a vacuum cleaner in each ear before I'm going to indulge in their wonderful content. So
you're such a jerk. Just don't wear headphones while driving. Like
no, I want to wear headphones while
okay.
driving. Yeah, and I text and drive, and I do video and drive, and I will call it any effing exit I want to. I'm never going to be accurate with any exit ever again.
So, but I guess what's interesting to me about it is like people have sort of these like meme responses to things. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I get from all is everybody has this like immediate thing. I don't know if they just think they're supposed to say it or their brain only like works in memes. Like, oh, you're recording a video while driving. Oh, you know, or they just don't like process any information.
No,
so they just
right.
respond in
yes.
like in like bumper sticker talk.
You're
like,
so right.
Oh, healthcare CEOs kill more people anyway.
Well, but about my thing, in which somebody invents an exit 68, like in which is a big one. The people like to say to dunk. But I will say this, and I want before we go to Jason our day,
okay.
I want your feeling. I want your 2 cents on this. I was certainly encouraged that so many people were running across that median to help another human being. That's really great that exists. Even though such fuckery exists online.
Yeah, online is not real life. And I think that's like another lesson of the Jason our day thing too, is that people in general are much better offline than online. And online is it's not the real world. Do you remember that post? I forget who said it's a Tyler the Creator post. Like, how is cyberbullying real? Just walk away. Just close your eyes. Yeah. Like, it's not, the screen isn't real. And I think that, you know, that this is like a common thing when we talk about like media pylons and jumping on and things going viral and people's responses to stuff online and even like the reactions to the CEO healthcare guy. Like, most people's reactions if they saw somebody shot wouldn't be, oh, he was a healthcare CEO, he had it coming.
Right.
it would be normal. But people online can't act normal, and they just talk in these memes and they behave in a stupid way. And I think the Jason Arday thing is the same thing. Obviously, it's awful that he's dead. That's terrible. And when we last talked about it, it was still a funny story because this guy invented his entire freaking life, and a bunch of idiots on the left who feel guilty about their race made him a millionaire with book advances and like positions that he never should have been in, like real life Forrest Gump
killed him with compassion.
Yeah, they were like, "No, you're the smartest person we've ever met," and he just thinks like he's such a genius because they keep putting him out here. And I mean, the whole thing was and so now we're being treated to this like meme treatment, like. He was like a minor, obscure sociology academic who was hounded to death over a tiny little nothing plagiarism scandal where he misattributed a quote because a bunch of racists hounded him. And you now have like the British Parliament looking into cracking down on the media because they wrote too many stories on it. Like, but this is, and you know, Ibram Kendi said like the story's all too familiar. The racists hounded him to death.
Ibram Kendi isn't that ironic? Because he's another pseudo-intellectual tiny brain.
Yeah, well, he uses himself as an example in the piece that he wrote about it, how that he can relate to it and the way they crack down on the way that, they come after you for any mistake. If you're black, the media lynched Jason Arday. So this is the story now. And they're all using the word hounded. You hounded him.
That's great.
You hounded him. The guy with the $1.4 million book advance for his memoir based entirely on fabrications. This is, and just the lack of the pretending not to understand why people found this story so fascinating. Because it was such egregious lying. It was so insane that he was in this position ever.
If people like that had just hounded him a little bit when he needed it at the beginning, then this guy could have gotten to his real potential and nobody would be hounding him on anything.
Yeah, he probably had actually real potential for things that we don't even know about, but he got addicted to the high of telling people crazy lies that they ran with, and he got in way over his head.
Yes.
And
by the way,
sad.
Alice, you're a woman, and a lot of times you look really beautiful, and you can manipulate men, and I know that you can. And I remember when we first went to some bar, and some guy like got between you and I, and he's like, hi, do I know you from the dentist's office? And you're like, and then he like went away, and you're like, that was a total play for me. It's like, yeah, I know. But so like, but you didn't quite say it like that. But you were letting me know that the guy was really angling to be. So, if you can manipulate people a little bit, especially beautiful young women, they like the attention. But imagine telling somebody, a room full of people, that you've run 40 marathons in 29 days in the room, like,
and half of them was with a broken leg, and like that you couldn't even talk till you're 11. Which people had like come back on that claim too, like people who knew him when he was a kid and said he absolutely could talk before he was 11, and like all of this stuff. It's an awful story, but the media did nothing wrong, first of all, by publishing stories on it, because people were very drawn into this story because it is so fascinating and so human on a lot of levels, and people like con artist stories. Like there's whole movies about them, like Catch Me If You Can and stuff.
Although that guy was impressive.
Well,
that guy had to convince the people that he was the airline pilot, like by doing some piloty things.
Right, but he wasn't. Though.
No, but
my point, I guess, is that like there's a reason people were drawn into this narrative of this like con guy. He could have probably turned around and sold his real actual memoir for even more.
Yes.
Like not the lying one that he sold to Simon and Schuster, but I think that, I don't know, I've read a bunch about this. First of all, I completely dismiss the accusation that all the people who talked about this story, laughed about this story, spent time on it, should like do self-reflection and think about how you hounded a black man to death and it was a modern day lynching. I reject that entirely, and I'll tell you why for a few reasons. One is that I think, obviously, we've talked about cancel culture on this show, and I think that the left has made it absolutely clear that they believe in hounding people to death. They believe in hounding people out of jobs as forklift operators. And fast food workers. They drove a professor, Mike Adams, at UNC to kill himself in 2021, I think, after the George Floyd stuff and after the COVID stuff. I mean, over tweets, they got him to accept an early retirement package and drove him to death.
So much of that happening.
And did they spend 1 second self-reflecting on it, friggin' anything? Of course they didn't. And that shows you they're completely, entirely disingenuous. They intend to spend absolutely zero time reflecting on cancel culture and hounding people to death. And Jason Arday was a public figure who, like I said, was made a millionaire by this stuff, by his grifting and cons, and absolutely, as a 41-year-old man, is entirely responsible for his own decision to commit suicide, which is horribly sad. Like it was sad when the UNC professor committed suicide because people were saying things about him, and it obviously it affects you when people say stuff about you.
Of course.
But I think that we have to, as a culture, be able to talk about things, and nobody even did anything that bad to Jason Arday. The professor, Nathan Kofnes, who originally broke a lot of this Jason Arday stuff, is actually receiving death threats on the internet right now and being told he's horrible and his family's being threatened and all this stuff. He's posted a bunch of the emails where people are emailing him with their names on the email saying they're going to kill his family that lives in Chicago and stuff, like, because he's a horrible human being and his gene pool needs to be eradicated and all this stuff.
That's great.
Like, it's insanity. People online are nuts.
Yeah.
They're going to say all kinds of things, and you have to be able to close the computer and walk away, especially if you think you're going to be a public figure. This is a guy who's on Good Morning America promoting his grift. Like, you cannot expect to become an international public figure and not get online hate. That's just absurd. It's just absurd. And the idea that he's simultaneously an international public figure who's a genius in his field and has one of the most prestigious chairs in academia is somehow also an incredibly fragile autistic man who we absolutely can't say anything mean about. It's a bizarre assertion. And
well, isn't that an admission that, you know, we had to build this facade for him or else we were afraid that he'd be sad?
Yeah, but I don't have a sociology chair position at the University of Cambridge, one of the top.
But Ibram X. Kendi is saying that, you know, you should have all just you have to keep going with the lie. Keep playing with the lie regardless, because that's compassion, and we need to do that, or he could harm himself like a trans kid. No, guys, just keep it. Let him LARP. Let him feel like he's doing the thing. Or else he could hurt himself. Like, maybe somebody should have gotten him a shrink. But then, of course, in 2020, the shrink will go right along with it, too.
Right.
You want me to say that he's a super overachieving intellectual? Okay. Can I be in the book?
Yeah, it's an enormously sad situation, but it's built entirely on the basis of this thing that the left did, where they built up an entire false universe around this person, and then it evaporated overnight because it was built on nothing. I don't know. I read recently, and actually, Tyler Austin Harper at The Atlantic.
No.
He's a black guy who left academia. He's a lefty. He's like an actual socialist, but he left.
We've got a giant chat. Just FYI.
Okay. But he left academia because of the DEI stuff, because he was at Bates, I think. He was somewhere in Maine, I think.
Okay.
Is that in
It's Maine, yeah.
Okay. But he wrote a big piece about that in The Atlantic just recently, actually. So it was interesting. He was very down on Jason Arday, but he wrote a very interesting piece about him after he committed suicide also. And that was an interesting piece. I won't read to you from it or whatever, but essentially said that this whole thing, if you watch these videos of them, elevating him to this position, the kind of stuff we were playing the other day, where you have this white lady talking about how he's such a genius and the greatest in the world at what he does, and they have to bring him in because he's just so incredible, and gazing deeply at him. It's such a bizarre psychological indictment on those people. and he's probably more sympathetic to our day, honestly, than I would be. But I think that's coming from a place largely of, he kind of says that he can see how that feeling can be addictive, how he saw it even being black in academia, which he left because of the DEI stuff, where like he could sense it from white liberals, where he would say something about how like he was raised by a single mother, and he would get the, oh my God, you've overcome so much. Like sort of this, like they friggin' loved it and like admired you for it and all this stuff, how far you've cut. And like, he's like, I could see how if you were like a little weaker psychologically, you could get addicted to that feeling and you could keep pushing it and saying more stuff and seeing how far you could go. And if you just keep getting the high of people reinforcing it and giving you money and accolades and time on TV and all this stuff for it, then why wouldn't you? And then, then it's sad when it all up and disappears overnight. And I think his feeling is, the media may have gone a little far with, the British tabloids are infamously into hounding people.
No, absolutely.
Not just black people, clearly. But I think that there is, there's a horrible tragedy to the whole story, but it's also, the tragedy happened way before he killed himself.
Yeah.
The tragedy happened for him as a person far before that.
Agreed. Should we do the chat?
Yeah, we can go to the chat and then we can.
How do I stream this on Twitter too?
OBS does not have streaming to multiple places the way StreamYard does.
Okay.
I don't know if there's some other intermediate solution. I mean, you could stream directly to Twitter, obviously.
Yeah, or Rumble, not both.
From OBS directly, but there might be some kind of plug-in or in-between tool that can do more than one. Because you could obviously
some of these are weak.
Okay, can I say one more thing though? Is that you can obviously stream this directly to StreamYard, and then StreamYard can stream to multiple places. But that seems like an extra step for no reason, and like StreamYard costs monthly as well. So I mean, I don't know. There might be a free in-between solution that I don't know.
You know what? Maybe I'll just do different kind of streaming for Twitter. Because this is for Patreon folks live, but
on the Thursday one that we stream to everybody, we could stream that to Twitter.
But when I do Howie and I do Jerry, it's that thing. The circle is there saying watch it. And when I'm on Mainwire TV. Mm-hmm. Okay, Tommy, New Hampshire. This is 1 week old. Okay. Ready?
Hey, Burn Barrel. Tommy NH.
Hey, Tommy.
Hey,
what exit?
Listening to the optometrist story Tom was telling the other day, like most of his stories, I immediately go to the victim's portrayal of the same story. And this poor girl telling her friends after work that she spent her day locked in a dark room alone with this creepy man. Kind of like I envision the scene from True Lies, Jamie Lee Curtis and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis is being told to dance by a creepy man in the dark. That sort of scenario. I felt bad for her. It's tough.
So what happened in the vision place with her?
Nothing was working and you had to...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wasn't creepy, though, with her. I don't think.
But you, know the life story of everybody and where they live. And
did I Google stalk her since Alice? Would you think I did?
Yes.
Alice. Correct.
And that was the latest hit by Johnny and the Pacemakers. Thanks. Big shout out going out to Tom, who picked that one up. Really, Tom? You need some kind of herbal something to help with brain function. Yes, Alice, the signature thing is it was a bleep show from minute one.
What was?
And the fact that these people put their trust in someone who may or may not have been promoted by Mass GOP, who knows? Obviously, the system, the regular normal system here, isn't going to get you any further than your front door. So write in everyone you can. And that Jason Aday guy,
yes,
he had the same kind of life as Kim Jong-un. He was the previous leader of North Korea.
He's talking about the fallen now, Cheswick. You had no idea a week ago.
I think that guy had 18 holes in one when he played golf one time. He got holes in one on every hole. he never pooped, according to his biography. And there was something else. I think he could cure people just by being in the same vicinity as them of cancer.
Yeah.
Something like that. Anyway.
Thankfully, he's still with us, though. Thankfully, he's still with us. And I like the idea that he executed his uncle with like an anti-aircraft gun. Okay, Tommy,
I thought they like injected him with poison in an airplane.
different uncle.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Burn Barrel, Tommy NH.
Hey, Tommy.
Thinking about the optometrist visit Tom had
Yes.
the other day, where he had this epiphany about technology's use
Yeah.
in the medical industry and the go forward.
Mm-hmm.
He's come a long way. I mean, I remember when he started his podcast with his Fisher Price Mr. Microphone and his
Well, I worked hard, saved up my money, and I bought a MacBook Air, Tommy.
my first laptop computer that he had. Drove me insane for the first 15 months of the podcast. I threatened to drive to his house about 50 times to fix things because
Yeah.
I couldn't take it. And now, look at him. He is the Elon Musk of technology
Thank
in the
you.
medical industry.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That is true. It's amazing, Alice. Have you ever heard of generative AI?
It's incredible.
No, you haven't, but it's a thing. I'll tell you about it during the
Okay.
car ride to the Lac du Jour.
Hey, Alice and Tom, it's Jennifer from Lawrence.
Hey, Jennifer.
I want to apologize because I must have fallen asleep and did not hear the entire podcast of August the 6th. Everybody else is probably going to think, I'm such an old biddy
No.
that I fall asleep in my suit. But after
fall
work,
asleep all
I
the
finished listening to the podcast and listened to you talk about your dad, Tom, and how he was treated. And you are right. That is how these smarmy doctors treat their patients,
Yeah.
especially the ones that they know that are going to die. They're horrible.
Yeah.
Alice Shattuck, I just want to tell you my heart goes out to you, and I wish I could hug you. You're a good person and a smart person, and I'm sure a good daughter, and I hope everything turns out the way it's supposed to, and I'm thinking about you guys all the time in my heart. I love you guys. You're the best.
Thank you, Jennifer.
thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you for the words, your passionate words regarding the hospital, the medical institutions. Yeah, I think we're simpatico on that. Don't hug. Nobody hug Alice until she clears up her little thing here.
I'm working on it. I'm on prednisone. I have all kinds of stuff on my face trying to fix it.
Hey, Billy from Manchester.
Hey,
So
Billy.
let me get this straight. The annoying kids are gone. The wife is gone.
Correct.
I'm not sure what's happening with the dog, but I'm sure Tom will just feed it tuna fish from 7-day-old tuna fish in the fridge. But
Yes.
and then the dog will just be lethargic.
Oh, last week was a great week. Just me and my daughter. Dog was there, of course, but it was.
Why don't you just move out?
Oh no, it was good. No, she and I. We went.
No,
through,
why don't you move out if you don't like any of the rest of us?
Because I want to evict you all. I want the place to myself. I want to walk around.
Go
I want
get a
to take.
little apartment for you. Or
I want to
something.
take.
Go live in a trailer park.
I want to take a constitutional around the yard.
But so no one's home in the house. He can do a show in relative peace and quiet where just his fatso mouth gets in the way and opening cans of God knows what. And he's not going to do a show all week, and he's going to do the Howie Carr show instead. I hated the other show too, the one about the bread too. I mean, what just hang it all
Bread.
up, just get rid of it, just do fill-in work from the next time. I mean, seriously, just be a filler, a fluffer.
I am a
For
fluffer.
44 seconds.
Yeah. So the Howie thing. Yeah. I couldn't do 4 hours of Howie and then another hour, especially alone. Here, it takes a little out of you. It takes a little out of me anyway. And then I missed the Mainwire TV, but I'm required to take vacation there, so technically I was on vacation. And if we're going to take vacation with the Burn Barrel, that was the week to do it. Last week was the week to do it. And then the Howie stuff is, that's, my wife expects me to be the breadwinner of the family like I've been consistently.
Mm-hmm.
I got to do these shifts.
So according to the latest food show,
Yep.
Tom believes that the valve stem of every tire is set precisely at the top when it comes off the assembly line and it's rotating at the same speed with all 4 tires.
Yes.
And it should never, ever, ever break that pattern.
It doesn't. Now, believe me, I worked my way through this, and first I thought about this, and then for the first 5 minutes, and then I thought, wait a second, this is absurd. And then it occurred to me, no, it's not absurd. I'm absolutely right. If I pulled up to that tire place, where, by the way, I was right against it, people are like, you're 4 feet away. I'm not 4. Will you stay on target? Doesn't matter what exit, okay? But they would be on the bottom. It's never been anything but on the bottom. And if you've been on what's that street called when it hits Newburyport? Story Ave?
Story Ave.
If you're in Story Ave, you've seen my fat ass crack because they bake the car so that the stem is never on top.
Even though tires slip on sand, or you drive over a rock, or they skid, or just in general, the rotation of the tire. Tom believes they should all be preset at the factory,
Yes.
then driven off a boat, then to a dealership, then test driven, then sold to someone who then drives it around with day-to-day use. And Alice believes, you know what? The guy who tried to teach his dog to talk, I can see that now in Alice. With I take 2 slices of bread out of a bag of Wonder Bread. I don't know why you're eating Wonder Bread, Alice.
That's great.
Because it never molds. Well, I guess maybe that's why. And you take the slices out and you have to uncouple them from each other in the pattern of like turning the page of a book.
Yeah.
Because then they will have the exact same amount of white space versus crust.
Yep.
Same amount of grab.
Am I following this? The 2 of you are crazy and you deserve each other.
Thank you.
And that's what I appreciate about your program.
Well, her contention is
154.
Thank you. Her contention is insane. Mine is scientific. I'm sorry, it is. And the I'll just say this: that some high-level tire people have reached out to me and admitted quietly that correct.
Hey guys, Andy in Cambridge,
hey,
5
Andy.
minutes east of Phoenix Landing, and I'm thinking, we're never gonna get Donna back on the show.
I miss Donna.
Can't we get Alice singing HOTTO to go or whatever that is?
Yeah.
Because that was wicked funny too.
Do you have any songs for us?
Just hit the button, Tom.
I
Cheers.
can't do it on demand.
Why?
These things, it has to flow out of me with like creative energy. I can't just.
Oh, it does?
I can't
Is
just
that what that
turn
is?
it on.
Is that what that is, Alice?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, her music's pretty good, I think. HOTTOGO, you can take me hard to go. See that? Pink Pony Club, I'ma keep on dancing in the pink
I like your
Pony
I'ma.
Club. Ba, 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 I don't know the words to that.
Pink Pony Club. I'm a.
Why are you doing that stuff?
They want to hear you sing. I like this.
Ask me off just courteously. I can't sing that low. Leave me alone. Stop.
Is this how I lost you before?
Enough. Just finish the chat. Come on.
Jesus. You telling me to hit the gas?
Hit the gas. I'm okay.
Okay, ready?
Why would the Teamsters support Maura Healey when she's handing out CDL licenses to illegal immigrants? They're not even union members. Why would they bother?
Because the Teamsters is people like Evan McKay
Somebody made a call and someone's making money somewhere.
No, Alice is right.
The Teamsters is like Graham Plattner and Evan McKay and AOC and stuff like that. It's not the Teamsters that it used to be.
Yeah, that's unfortunate too, because it doesn't seem like he'd be the perfect fit.
Of protests against Israel's actions and genocide. We are really at an inflection point and we've seen public opinion changing.
Can you imagine being an old-time Teamster and this guy's like your shop steward or whatever? He's like the brass.
Well, didn't you read in his bio on his website, one of his things that he gives himself is that he went after, was it the Teamsters or was it the SEIU? I forgot what he was in, but he was in some union, and he to be the grad students or whatever, and they went after union leadership and like made them be more modern and queer accepting or whatever the frick. I don't know. But yeah, that's the issue fundamentally, is that the far left progressives decided that they didn't need to try and win over those people anymore. They would just become them.
So I think we should play 2 more and then get to the Patreon, because we have a date at the lake.
How much more messages?
There's about 10 more.
Can't you just play them quickly and
I
not
guess so.
go into like a long conversation?
People love to hear my monologues, Alice.
And you're
Okay,
playing
here we go.
7 clips of me from...
Hey guys, Andy and Cambridge,
not about
5
burning
minutes
through them.
east of Phoenix Landing. Tom, I am so glad that chump line caller called in to correct you on what you called Huffsnack? Sasnak. Come on.
Sasnak?
How North Shore can you be? That's just sad.
Oh, I called it.
Cringe.
Okay,
Cheers.
it was Cambridge. It was Quincy. I called it Huff's Neck. HOUGH neck. It was a spot for a auctioneer. I called it Huff's Neck. Apparently, that's Howe's Neck.
Oh, duh.
Who knew? I'm a North Shore guy.
Hey, Fat Nuts.
What?
I just saw something on Reddit where a driver in Massachusetts who passed his reinspection date some months afterwards received a letter from the RMV stating that if you don't get it done soon, you're going to be in a big boatload of trouble.
Oy.
I love that you guys are on vacation because we can leave a million chat messages.
So do you know about this? I threw it out to the Howie Carr audience.
Yeah, you told me about that. Yeah. I mean,
chances are we got that letter months ago, and it lives with the other bad news pile.
Hi, Steve from Merrimack.
Hey, Steve.
Tom, you were talking on Howie's show on Tuesday about HR wokery run amok in corporations. I got 2 examples.
Oh, good.
One is during 2020, the dumbest year in American history.
Yep.
After the George Floyd overdose, we had to sit. I worked for a big pharmaceutical corporation. We had to sit through hours and hours of lectures and all this other stuff. And the guy that was the president of our corporation internationally was a guy from Brazil named Carlos, and his opening statement was it included the line, "I'm sorry, I just can't identify with this. I didn't grow up in a country with systemic racism." And if I had been like a day from retirement, I would have just pressed opened the line and be like, "Hey, Carlos, neither did I, but I do live in a country with institutionalized racism, which is called affirmative action." Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
I believe they speak Portuguese in Brazil because of the history of colonization.
I believe so.
What's Krakatoa?
Did you know what Krakatoa was?
A volcanic island?
Okay, I had no idea. On the Howie Carr show, I had no idea that it was a thing at all. And apparently, it's a thing.
Yes.
I didn't know that it was a thing. It wasn't a thing that was just taught. Same with that band that whatever has that 80s song.
Book?
Yeah. I didn't know about Krakatoa.
I had a book.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Caroline Levitt will be filling in from now on, I assume. That will be their go-to.
Hey guys, Andy in Cambridge, 5 minutes east of the Phoenix Landing.
Hey, Andy.
For context, I should let y'all know that I was still living in Quincy on 9/11.
Oh.
And I moved to Cambridge in October of 2001 because I was in my living room in East Cambridge on Gore Street when Mo Lewis tried to kill Drew Bledsoe and some kid named Tom Brady came in off the bench. So that's why, I mocked Tom for not knowing about the neck. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, I had no idea. How's neck, Alice? Did you know
I
that?
just found it. The book that I liked as a kid, The 21 Balloons by William Penn Dubois. Published in 1947.
Krakatoa, east of Volvo, you mean? Is it that one?
I don't know.
Because apparently there's some...
In the book, the story is about a retired school teacher whose ill-fated balloon trip leads him to discover Krakatoa, an island full of great wealth and fantastic inventions. It's called The 21 Balloons. It was a good book. Won a Newbery Medal.
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
I wanted to comment on your funeral procession story. When we went to bury my mother, some moron cut across our funeral procession as we were trying to pull into the cemetery. Just drove right through like we didn't exist. You know,
what an a-hole.
Cutting off like it just the most moronic people on the planet. My my old boss, her husband was telling me that he and his family have something they call funeral rage. And if anything like that happens, like someone cuts into the line of them going to a funeral, they just stop their cars and they all get out and surround that vehicle, you know, in their black suits and stuff and like basically threaten the person.
Yeah, good.
Which I'm all for.
I'm all for
it.
too.
Someone should have stopped their car and got out and smacked that kid in the face.
Yeah,
That's what should have happened.
My brother was, this is like 10 years ago, we were at a funeral, which happened to be in Haverhill before we knew anything about it. I still know the area where it was. And we're in the funeral, what's it called? Procession, going to the cemetery. And this kid is on a bike who wants to cross the street. And the whole way he was giving everybody the finger. Yeah, the whole time. Which in retrospect, somebody who should have just shot him in the head, to be honest. Let's be honest.
Well, it was in April, so maybe they have since.
Well, but here's the thing. Yeah, good point. But here's the thing. But it's also another like example, kind of like, you're not noticing the
There's
headline.
Something bigger going on other than
there's a big life thing that happens, and like this is not. I can't get to Burger King on my bike, dude. But he should have been shot. Obviously, hopefully he is dead.
All right.
Hey.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while.
So I'm a season ticket holder for the Fever, and
Section
awesome.
118.
Dude, you get to see Sophie Cunningham in person.
Did you see the video I sent of her singing courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue in a bar?
I hate to tell you, and I think that, you know, I'm fond of you enough.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas, I didn't want anybody to know I was fond of you. But I will leave you for her. Sorry.
Okay.
I realize how upset the world would be.
Row 2, seat 9, and I'm
Row 2.
I'm not going to renew them.
What?
You can't have one of your stars, Sophie Cunningham, get bloodied in the mouth and then go run towards Dejanay Mustard Carrington, and you know, pity her when it was her who
coach
to take her head off on a hard basketball foul and bloodied Sophie's mouth. She didn't have her players back, and here's the thing: fire Stephanie White.
Yes.
Also, Candace is an idiot.
She is.
Owens.
Yeah, there was some debate that she was in the other day. I missed
about
it.
Who killed Charlie Kirk or whatever.
Hi, Steve from Merrimack.
Hey, Steve.
Part 2. I was in HR training in 2007 for the same big corporation. And a guy, very nice gentleman, African-American gentleman, came to our class and spoke to us about, you know, the importance of, you know, coexist and all that other crap. And he said, for instance, you know, in Dearborn, Michigan, the car manufacturers have been putting prayer rooms in the manufacturing facilities because of the high population of Muslim workers. And I said, how is that not discrimination? And he's like, well, what do you mean? I said, okay, well, how would the manufacturer feel if every Catholic or every Jew had a crucifix or a Star of David?
Asking for trouble, man.
And he said, no, that wouldn't fly. And I said, you're telling me their religion is more important than my religion. Why is their religion addressed at all in the workplace? And the
Steve.
conversation did not improve from there. But it just drives me crazy.
Thanks so much for listening, everybody, and the chat messages. We should probably talk a little bit about Michigan and Wisconsin and Hassan Piker on the other side when we do a little bit of a Patreon show. And maybe about Sophie Cunningham, some of this other stuff that's happening in the world. And then we'll probably have to record a food show too. I don't know. Busy days.
C'est la vie.
Anything?
I have to stop recording and then start recording.